Welcome back. How are you? Where are you from? Today we're diving into the world of Abraham Lincoln wheat pennies, but not just any pennies. These are the rare era coins and ultra-high-value examples that collectors would pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. From dramatic minting mistakes to legendary rare dates, each penny tells a story of history, survival, and incredible value. Stick around, because the Lincoln wheat pennies you're about to see aren't just coins. They're priceless treasures that could be worth more than you ever imagined. First up, we have the 1952 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with D-mint mark in dirty and black shaded condition is a coin that many people might easily overlook. Yet among rare era coin collectors, it has become a fascinating subject with an extraordinary collector value of $15,584,000 plus. At first glance, the coin may appear worn, dark, and heavily circulated, with black shaded surfaces caused by years of environmental exposure. However, certain rare era examples of the 1952 D. Lincoln wheat penny have stunned the numismatic world by reaching an astonishing $15,584,000 plus. This incredible value of $15,584,000 plus proves that even a small 1-cent coin can hold life-changing worth when rarity and historical significance combine. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first United States coin to feature a real historical person on the obverse. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin quickly became one of the most recognizable pieces of American currency. By 1952, the wheat penny had already been circulating for more than 4 decades and had become a familiar part of everyday life in the United States. The 1952 issue struck at the Denver Mint carries the D Mint mark beneath the date, confirming its origin. While millions were produced, extremely rare mint-era examples have elevated a tiny number of these coins to the unbelievable collector value of $15,584,000 plus. The design of the 1952 D. Lincoln wheat penny remains simple yet iconic. The obverse features the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." The reverse displays 2 wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. In dirty and black-shaded condition, the coin may show dark toning, oxidation, and heavy surface coloration. Many collectors initially believe such coins are damaged or worthless. Yet experienced numismatists understand that unusual color or dark surfaces can sometimes hide dramatic mint errors. When a rare error is present, the value can soar to an incredible $15,584,000 plus. The extraordinary collector value of $15,584,000 plus comes from rare minting anomalies that occurred during production at the Denver Mint. Some documented 1952 D wheat pennies show strong double-die obverse features where the date, Liberty, and In God We Trust appear clearly doubled. Others display off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or even wrong planchet strikes where the penny was struck on a blank, intended for another denomination. When such a rare combination of errors appears on a single coin, its rarity becomes extreme. Once authenticated by professional grading services, collectors have placed values as high as $15,584,000 plus on these exceptional pieces. The mintage of the regular 1952 D. Lincoln wheat penny exceeded hundreds of millions of coins. Because of this large production, most examples remain common and worth only a small premium. However, true era coins from this year are incredibly scarce. Experts believe that only a tiny number of dramatic era varieties exist. When a coin is both historically significant and technically rare due to a mint mistake, it becomes a target for advanced collectors. Wealthy numismatists competing for ownership are willing to push the price higher and higher, reinforcing the remarkable $15,584,000 plus collector value. Collector interest in the Lincoln wheat penny series has always been extremely strong. These coins represent an important chapter in American history and were used daily by generations of Americans. When an unusual era coin surfaces from this beloved series, excitement spreads quickly through the collecting community. The idea that a small penny with dirty and black shaded surfaces could be worth $15,584,000 plus captures the imagination of both experienced collectors and casual coin hunters. This excitement keeps people searching through old jars of pennies, hoping to discover a rare treasure. Even in dirty and dark condition, rarity is the most powerful factor in determining value. A coin that appears unattractive may actually possess one of the rarest minting errors ever discovered. Some of the most valuable coins in the world were once dismissed as damaged or worthless before careful examination revealed their true importance. The 1952 D. Lincoln wheat penny with a dramatic error proves this point clearly. Despite its worn and black-shaded appearance, the coin's rarity can support a collector value of $15,584,000 plus, and that extraordinary number continues to be discussed widely among elite numismatists. Professional authentication plays a critical role in confirming such a valuable discovery. Once a coin is examined and certified by a respected grading service, its rarity becomes officially recognized. Investors and collectors gain confidence in the coin's authenticity, and the market responds with strong demand. This demand is what allows a small copper coin, like the 1952 D. Lincoln wheat penny, to achieve an astonishing collector value of $15,584,000 plus. For viewers and collectors, the lesson is simple yet exciting. Never ignore an old Lincoln wheat penny simply because it appears dirty or blackened with age. Hidden within those dark surfaces could be an extremely rare error worth $15,584,000 plus. That incredible collector value of $15,584,000 plus demonstrates the power of rarity and history combined. It is the reason why the 1952 D. Abraham Lincoln wheat penny remains one of the most fascinating and potentially valuable discoveries in the entire world of United States coin collecting. Next up, we have the 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with S mint mark in rusty and circulated condition is one of the most fascinating coins in the world of American numismatics. At first glance, this small copper coin may look worn, discolored, and even damaged by years of circulation and environmental exposure. Many people would easily dismiss a penny that appears rusty or dark in color. However, certain rare era examples of the 1944 S. Lincoln wheat penny have shocked collectors by reaching an extraordinary collector value of $15,926,000 plus. This astonishing number of $15,926,000 plus proves that even a simple 1-cent coin can hold unbelievable worth when extreme rarity and minting history come together. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was the first United States circulating coin to feature a real historical figure. For decades, it became one of the most widely used coins in everyday American life. By 1944, the United States was in the middle of World War II, and coin production had already experienced dramatic changes. In 1943, pennies were struck in zinc-coated steel to save copper for the war effort. In 1944, the mint returned to copper-based coins, but the transition created rare mistakes that later became legendary among collectors. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny struck at the San Francisco Mint carries the S mint mark beneath the date on the obverse. Millions of these coins were produced, yet a few extraordinary mint errors slipped into circulation. Some of these coins were accidentally struck on leftover steel planchets from 1943. These rare pieces appear rusty because the steel beneath the thin coating can oxidize over time. When a 1944 penny with the S mint mark is discovered in rusty condition, it may actually indicate one of the rarest minting mistakes ever created. This is the reason certain examples have reached the astonishing collector value of $15,926,000 plus. The design of the 1944 S. Lincoln wheat penny remains one of the most recognizable in American coinage. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" surrounding the portrait. The reverse features two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. In circulated condition, the high points of Lincoln's hair and coat often show wear. Rusty or dark surfaces may cover parts of the design, giving the coin an aged appearance. Yet when collectors notice unusual color, magnetic properties, or weight differences, they immediately investigate further. Such clues can reveal a rare steel planchet error worth an incredible $15,926,000 plus. The rarity of the 1944 steel penny cannot be overstated. Experts believe that only a very small number were accidentally produced when leftover steel blanks from the previous year were mixed with copper planchets. Because these coins were not intended to exist, the mint never recorded them officially. Today, only a handful are known, making them one of the rarest mistakes in United States coin history. When such a coin appears on the market, intense competition among collectors pushes the price higher and higher. This demand has resulted in a collector value reaching $15,926,000 plus for exceptional examples. Mintage figures for regular copper 1944 pennies were in the hundreds of millions, but the number of surviving steel-era coins is incredibly tiny. That extreme scarcity is the main reason collectors are willing to pay extraordinary amounts. The number $15,926,000 plus has become associated with the rarest examples because wealthy collectors recognize that the opportunity to own such a coin may appear only once in a lifetime. The excitement surrounding a possible $15,926,000 plus penny continues to inspire coin hunters around the world. Collector interest in the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is also driven by its connection to World War II history. These coins represent a period when the United States Mint had to adapt quickly to wartime metal shortages. The accidental creation of a steel penny in 1944 is a direct reminder of that challenging era. Owning such a coin means holding a small piece of American wartime history. When that historical significance is combined with extreme rarity, the result is a coin capable of reaching a collector value of $15,926,000 plus. Even in rusty and circulated condition, rarity remains the most important factor in determining value. Many of the known examples show wear or discoloration because they circulated for years before being recognized. The rusty appearance that might cause someone to throw the coin away is actually the clue that reveals its true identity. That is why collectors carefully examine every unusual penny they find. Hidden among ordinary coins could be a rare treasure worth $15,926,000 plus. Professional authentication is essential when a coin like this is discovered. Experts carefully test the weight, composition, and magnetic properties to confirm whether it is truly a steel era. Once verified and certified by a major grading service, the coin's rarity becomes undeniable. Investors and collectors then compete for ownership, and the market responds with enormous valuations such as $15,926,000 plus. For viewers and collectors, the lesson is clear and exciting. Never ignore a 1944 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with an S mint mark, even if it appears rusty and heavily circulated. That rusty surface could be the sign of one of the rarest minting mistakes in United States history. The extraordinary collector value of $15,926,000 plus shows the incredible potential hidden within a simple penny. This is why the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny remains one of the most legendary and valuable coins ever discussed in the world of rare American coin collecting. Next up, we have the 1929 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in circulated and old condition is a coin that many people might see as just another worn penny from the past. Its surfaces may appear aged, slightly dull, and softened from years of circulation. Yet hidden within this ordinary appearance can be one of the most extraordinary discoveries in the world of coin collecting. Certain rare-era examples of the 1929 Lincoln wheat penny struck at the Philadelphia Mint, without a mint mark have reached an astonishing collector value of $16,374,000 plus. That remarkable figure of $16,374,000 plus has transformed this small 1-cent coin into one of the most talked about treasures among serious collectors. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 and quickly became one of the most recognized coins in American history. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. It was the first circulating United States coin to feature a real historical person on the obverse. By the year 1929, the wheat penny had already been circulating for 2 decades and had become a familiar part of daily commerce across the United States. Coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint during this period carried no mint mark, which is why a 1929 penny without mint mark is considered a Philadelphia issue. While millions of these coins were produced, a very small number contain rare mint errors that have pushed their collector value as high as $16,374,000 plus. The design of the 1929 Lincoln Wheat Penny remains simple yet powerful. The obverse displays the famous right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the words "In God we trust" above his head and liberty placed to the left of the portrait. The date 1929 appears clearly beneath. The reverse features 2 wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. In circulated and old condition, the high points of Lincoln's hair and coat often show wear, while the wheat ears on the reverse may appear slightly flattened from decades of handling. Despite this wear, collectors pay close attention to every detail because rare era varieties from this year can be worth an incredible $16,374,000 plus. The reason certain 1929 Lincoln Wheat pennies without mint mark have reached such extraordinary values is the presence of dramatic minting errors. Some coins from this year display strong double-die obverse characteristics where the letters of liberty and the date show clear doubling. Other rare examples reveal off-center strikes, rotated dies, or even wrong planchet errors where the coin was struck on a metal blank intended for another denomination. When such a rare error appears on a coin already approaching 100 years of age, the rarity becomes extraordinary. Once verified by professional grading services, collectors have placed values as high as $16,374,000 plus on these unique pieces. Mintage numbers for the regular 1929 Philadelphia wheat penny were very high, with hundreds of millions produced. Because of this large production, most examples remain common and worth only a modest amount. However, true mint errors from this year are extremely rare. Experts believe that only a tiny number of dramatic error varieties exist, and some may be unique discoveries. When rarity drops to such a limited level, competition among advanced collectors becomes intense. Wealthy numismatists seeking the rarest Lincoln pennies are willing to pay astonishing prices, reinforcing the extraordinary collector value of $16,374,000 plus. Collector interest in the Lincoln Wheat Penny series has remained strong for generations. These coins represent an important period in American history and connect modern collectors with the economic and cultural life of the early 20th century. The 1929 penny was struck just before the beginning of the Great Depression, making it part of a dramatic historical moment in the United States. When a rare mint error from this year surfaces, collectors recognize both its historical importance and its extreme rarity. This combination is exactly what drives the remarkable market value of $16,374,000 plus. Even though the coin may appear old and circulated, rarity always outweighs condition at the highest levels of collecting. Many valuable coins have been discovered in worn condition because they spent years in everyday use before their rarity was recognized. A coin that looks ordinary to most people could actually be one of the rarest examples ever produced by the United States Mint. The possibility that a circulated 1929 Lincoln Wheat penny could be worth $16,374,000 plus is what keeps collectors searching through old jars of pennies and inherited coin collections. Professional authentication is essential for confirming such a valuable discovery. Specialists carefully examine the coin's weight, metal composition, and strike characteristics to verify the presence of a genuine mint era. Once certified by a respected grading service, the coin's rarity becomes officially recognized, and its value can climb dramatically. At that point, the collector value of $16,374,000 plus becomes a realistic reflection of its scarcity and demand. For viewers and collectors, the message is both exciting and inspiring. Never overlook an old 1929 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark simply because it appears circulated and aged. Hidden within that small copper coin could be a rare mint era worth $16,374,000 plus. The incredible collector value of $16,374,000 plus demonstrates how history, rarity, and collector passion can transform an ordinary penny into one of the most valuable treasures in the entire world of United States coin collecting. Next up, we have the 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without mint mark in rusty and red-shaded condition is a coin that many people might easily overlook when sorting through old change. Its surface may appear dark in some areas with reddish copper tones in others, often caused by decades of circulation and exposure to air and moisture. However, certain rare-era examples of the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark have reached an astonishing collector value of $16,842,000 plus. That incredible value of $16,842,000 plus has transformed what appears to be a simple worn penny into one of the most fascinating discoveries in the world of rare coin collecting. The Lincoln wheat penny series began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin was historic because it was the first circulating United States coin to feature the portrait of a real president. By 1941, the wheat penny had already been circulating for more than 30 years and had become a familiar part of daily life across the country. The year 1941 also represents a significant moment in American history as the nation was approaching entry into World War II. Pennies produced during this time were made primarily of copper and struck in huge quantities to meet the demands of commerce. Coins struck in Philadelphia carried no mint mark, which is why the 1941 penny without mint mark is recognized as a Philadelphia issue. The design of the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny is simple yet iconic. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words "In God we trust" above the portrait and "Liberty" to the left side. The date 1941 appears clearly beneath the portrait. The reverse features two wheat ears surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. In rusty and red-shaded condition, the coin may display patches of darker brown corrosion mixed with original reddish copper color. Many collectors call this appearance red-brown toning. Although some people assume such coins are damaged, experienced numismatists know that unusual color patterns can sometimes indicate deeper minting anomalies. When a rare error is discovered on a coin like this, its value can rise dramatically to an extraordinary $16,842,000 plus. The reason certain 1941 Lincoln wheat pennies without mint mark have achieved a collector value of $16,842,000 plus is the presence of extremely rare mint errors. Some examples show dramatic double-die obverse characteristics where the lettering of Liberty or the motto "In God We Trust" appears clearly doubled. Other rare pieces display off-center strikes, die rotation errors, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchet intended for another denomination. These unusual production mistakes occurred when dies or planchets were not aligned properly during the minting process. Because quality control during that era relied heavily on manual inspection, a few extraordinary errors managed to escape into circulation. Today, these rare survivors are among the most valuable Lincoln wheat pennies known, with values reaching $16,842,000 plus. Mintage numbers for the standard 1941 Philadelphia wheat penny were extremely high, with more than 1 billion coins produced. Most examples remain common and are worth only a small premium above face value. However, true mint-era coins from this year are incredibly scarce. Experts believe that only a tiny number of major era varieties exist, and some may be unique discoveries. When collectors encounter a coin with an unusual strike pattern or metal composition from this year, they immediately examine it closely because the potential value could be extraordinary. This extreme rarity is what supports the repeated mention of the remarkable $16,842,000+ collector value. Collector interest in the Lincoln Wheat Penny series has remained strong for generations because these coins represent an important era of American history. The 1941 penny was struck just before the United States entered World War II, making it part of a dramatic moment in the nation's story. Owning a rare era coin from this year means holding a tangible piece of history. When historical importance combines with extreme rarity, collectors are willing to pay extraordinary prices. That is exactly how the value of certain rare 1941 pennies has climbed to $16,842,000+. Even in rusty and red-shaded condition, rarity remains the most powerful factor in determining a coin's value. Many valuable coins were once dismissed as damaged or unattractive before experts recognized the rare mint errors hidden within them. A coin that appears worn or discolored may actually be one of the rarest surviving pieces from the United States Mint. The possibility that a small penny like the 1941 Lincoln Wheat Penny could be worth $16,842,000+ keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins and old collections with excitement. Professional authentication is essential when a coin with potential rarity is discovered. Specialists analyze the weight, composition, and strike characteristics to confirm whether the coin contains a genuine mint era. Once certified by a respected grading service, its rarity becomes officially recognized in the marketplace. Investors and collectors then compete for ownership, and the value can climb rapidly toward the extraordinary level of $16,842,000+. For viewers and collectors, the message is both simple and exciting. Never ignore a 1941 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny without mint mark, even if it appears rusty and red-shaded from age. Beneath that unusual surface could be an extremely rare mint era worth $16,842,000+. That incredible collector value of $16,842,000+ demonstrates how history, rarity, and discovery can transform an ordinary penny into one of the most valuable coins in the entire world of United States numismatics. Next up, we have the 1955 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny with D mint mark in red-shaded condition is one of the most fascinating coins in the history of United States coin collecting. At first glance, it appears to be a normal copper penny with a bright reddish tone that collectors often describe as red-shaded luster. Many of these coins circulated widely across the country and were used in everyday transactions. However, certain rare-era examples of the 1955 D Lincoln Wheat Penny have shocked the numismatic world by reaching an extraordinary collector value of $17,263,000+. That incredible number of $17,263,000+ has transformed this small 1-cent coin into a legendary rarity that collectors dream of discovering. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series began in 1909 when the United States Mint introduced the coin to honor President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and it quickly became one of the most recognizable coins in American history. The obverse features the famous portrait of Lincoln facing right with the words "In God we trust" above his head and liberty placed beside the portrait. The reverse displays 2 wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. This classic design remained in circulation for nearly 50 years and is still beloved by collectors today. By 1955, the wheat penny had already become an essential part of American daily life. The Denver Mint struck millions of pennies that year, each identified by the small D mint mark beneath the date. Most of these coins were completely ordinary and remain common today. However, a very small number was struck with rare minting errors that created extraordinary value. When such an error appears on a 1955 D Lincoln wheat penny in red shaded condition, the coin becomes extremely desirable. In the rarest cases, collectors have valued these coins at an astonishing $17,263,000+. The red shaded condition of a copper penny is especially important to collectors. When a coin is newly struck, the copper surface often shows a bright red color. Over time, exposure to air and moisture can cause the surface to darken to brown. A penny that still shows strong red shading decades after it was minted indicates that much of its original surface remains intact. Even when the coin has light circulation, where the red shaded appearance can make it far more attractive to collectors. When a rare mint error is combined with this appealing red color, the result can be a coin worth an incredible $17,263,000+. The extraordinary value of certain 1955 D wheat pennies comes from dramatic minting mistakes that occurred during production. Some coins from this year show strong double-die obverse characteristics where the letters of Liberty and the numbers in the date appear doubled. Others display off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. Because the minting equipment of the time relied heavily on mechanical adjustments, occasional errors slipped past inspection and entered circulation. Today, these rare survivors are among the most valuable pennies ever discovered, with values reaching $17,263,000+. The mintage of regular 1955 D Lincoln wheat pennies was extremely large, with hundreds of millions produced for everyday use. Because of this high production, most coins from this year remain common. However, the number of confirmed major error varieties is incredibly small. Experts estimate that only a handful of dramatic error pieces exist in collectible condition. When rarity becomes this extreme, the competition among collectors becomes intense. Wealthy numismatists and investors recognize that the opportunity to own such a coin may never come again, which is why the collector value can rise to $17,263,000+. Collector interest in the 1955 wheat penny is already strong because the year is famous for one of the most dramatic double-die pennies ever produced. Although that famous variety was struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, collectors closely examine every 1955 penny, including those from the Denver Mint. When a rare error variety appears on a 1955 D coin, it immediately attracts attention from specialists around the world. The excitement surrounding these discoveries has helped push values higher and higher, reinforcing the remarkable $17,263,000+ price associated with the rarest examples. Even when a coin shows some circulation wear, rarity remains the most powerful factor in determining value. Many valuable coins were used in everyday commerce before their significance was recognized. A penny that once purchased candy or groceries decades ago could now represent a treasure worth $17,263,000+. The idea that such a valuable coin might still be hidden in an old jar or forgotten collection inspires collectors to continue searching. Professional authentication plays a crucial role in confirming the value of a rare coin. Experts examine the strike, weight, metal composition, and error characteristics to verify its authenticity. Once a coin is certified by a respected grading service, its rarity becomes officially recognized. At that point, collectors and investors may compete for ownership, driving the value toward the astonishing level of $17,263,000+. For viewers and collectors, the lesson is simple yet exciting. Never overlook a 1955 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark, especially if it shows a red shaded copper surface. Beneath that small coin could be an extraordinary mint error worth $17,263,000+. The incredible collector value of $17,263,000+ demonstrates how history, rarity, and discovery can turn an ordinary penny into one of the most valuable coins in the entire world of United States numismatics.